guys, how's it going? It is Fangs, and welcome to a video that is pretty much describing what I'm going to be doing today. So today, I'm going to be doing a charity live stream, which is actually going to be my very first charity live stream. I'm going to be doing it for 12 hours, and hopefully it'll be a ton of fun. I'm going to try to play some different games that vary from anywhere from FIFA to Rocket League to maybe some League of Legends. I don't know, whatever can get me through those 12 hours. It'll probably mostly be FIFA, so I definitely want you guys to check that out. There'll be a link in the description down below. So what this charity live stream is for, and I kind of wanted to bring it up in a video and kind of speak about it a little bit because it is near and dear and it means a ton to me. It is for the 5th annual Run for Life, and this is held by the Lost team for Tarrant County. And so what the Lost team is, Tarrant County here, it's where I'm from. That's like, I live in Fort Worth, it's in Tarrant County. In case you didn't know what that is, I know not everybody's from the United States and might not know that, or even from Texas or might not know that, but Tarrant County is what I live in. So they're the Lost team of Tarrant County. And so what they do is they work with the Suicide Awareness Coalition, and they work together to pretty much bring suicide awareness to the DFW area or the Fort Worth area in Tarrant County, as well as they provide counseling and help to people who are survivors of suicide. So in case you guys didn't know anything about it, last year in the month of November, my friend committed suicide. This is a friend that I was close to and near and dear to, and I'd known him for quite some time. We had met in high school when I was about 15 or 16 years old. He was kind of in my friend group that I was hanging out with at the time, so I had some like older guys I hung out with, which were obviously Will's guys, and then there were some guys in my grade that we hung out with, and he happened to be the little brother of one of them, so he was always in our group of friends. And not to mention that at this time, whenever I started dating Doobie, my friend Jenny actually started dating a guy named Brian, who she still dates to this day, as well as he was dating my other friend. And so we were all together and we had been friends for a while, and we'd all started dating at the same time, so our relationships carried on to be almost the same length, which was almost 8 to 9 years. And so we did tons of friends things with him. We like went to different things. I saw him all the time. He played video games. He was a gamer. He was happy. He was smart. He was highly intelligent, and I just don't understand why it took place. And at that time I had no idea why it would have, and whenever I found out about it, I woke up. It was a weekend and I was actually coming in town. I lived in Austin at the time and I'd been away, which also kind of stunk because I'd moved away for 2 years, and I used to hang out with them all the time, with him and my other friend, and then all my friends together as a group. We did all these things together, and then whenever I moved to Austin, I didn't see him as much and I didn't really get to talk to him as much, so it wasn't the same. And so I was supposed to come in town this weekend. I had a wedding in the first place, and then the people in my grade had somewhat of like a high school reunion, and my team, our football team, had made it to the playoffs, so they were gonna go. It was freezing outside though, so I had no idea how they were gonna actually make it there, but it was freezing outside. We were gonna go that night and they were supposed to go out after that. I decided though, because of YouTube, and I don't know why, just in me, I didn't want to drive into Fort Worth that day. I wanted to do it the next morning, that I wasn't gonna go out, and I called them at like 7 or 8 o'clock whenever I probably should have already been there. I was like, I think I'm actually gonna stay at home and make a YouTube video. Needless to say, the next morning I woke up, and on my way there, probably like an hour into my drive, I'd had a call early in that morning, but I didn't answer it, and I was like, why are they calling me? I figured that they were drunk and they'd been out or something and they were giving me drunk calls, but I didn't get a voicemail. So I finally answered whenever I was on my way to Fort Worth that morning, and that's whenever I found out. It was extraordinarily devastating. Like, I had never experienced suicide in my entire life, let alone have a close friend die to me in quite a long time, so it was something that I wasn't really used to. I didn't believe it whenever they first told me. I was like, there's no way, like, I just knew him so well that I thought at least that there's no way that this person could do that, because they just didn't seem like that. I mean, they seemed happy. They seemed, you know, I'd just seen him a month before. There's no way that it could have possibly happened, but it did happen. And it was devastating to my friends, to all of our families, and especially to my best friend who he was the boyfriend of. It was, you know, she had to be there for it, and it was something that was very terrible. And we had to deal with it the next day, and we had to see things that we probably shouldn't have seen, and it ended up being something that stuck with me for quite a while. For the first week of it, I didn't believe that it could have been true. For some reason, I remember throughout the week, I had to go back home actually, and I had to go to Austin and then come back, but whenever I came back and we were doing all the things to get ready for the funeral, I just remember like sitting in the house and wondering like, there's no way that this is possible. Like at some point, I imagine he's just gonna walk in the door, like I could see him and I could see what he's wearing in my head, and it never happened, obviously. When you go through like a process of suicide, you first begin to wonder, I mean, he didn't leave a note for one. He seemed so normal from the night before, like there was actually like pictures and people talked to him and he seemed fine and everything was fine. Although he was drinking, and we thought maybe that'd be like something that could have caused or triggered it, but in the end, we had no idea what was actually going through his head or what he'd been dealing with. And with suicide, it's all down to depression, and a lot of people don't know. Like, some people show the signs and some people act out and say they're suicidal, but usually they're not the ones that do it. It's the ones that show no signs at all, and to us, from the outside looking in, whenever we saw him, even when I saw him a month before, I had no clue that he would even possibly think about doing that. And I'd even thought, like, how it brings to you the possibility of how could he do it, and why would he do it, and the things that we had to see, and the things that my friend had to see, and the things that we had to deal with. Like, why would he put you through that? I remember spending countless weeks and countless nights just not able to sleep and sitting there thinking, what could I have done to change that this happened, or how could I have stopped this from happening? And I thought about, what if I would have been there that night? What if I would have actually shown up like I was supposed to? Maybe I could have done something differently. Like, maybe I could have cracked a joke that would have made him smile before he went home and made him not think about that stuff that he was gonna do to himself. I also thought about, like, 4 or 5 days before it happened. We were gamers. He was a huge gamer, and so we played with him. I think sometimes I brought him in, like, I have like a separation of groups. I have my friends that I play games with, that I went to high school with, and then I have like my friends that like are like NEP and AA and skills and stuff like that. I remember I kind of correlated and brought him into some of those games as well. So he played a lot of Call of Duty, and the new what was it? The Call of Duty Ghosts? No, Advanced Warfare had just come out. Advanced Warfare had just come out. And that had been maybe like a week and a half before that. I remember sitting there and nobody was on one night, and I was chilling by myself just playing Advanced Warfare, and I thought to myself, like, I saw he was online, and I was like, maybe I should send him an invite, but I ended up just playing by myself and not sending him an invite. And I thought to myself, like, maybe I should have invited him. Like, maybe he was lonely, or maybe there's something going on with him and I didn't know anything about it, and I just didn't. And you start to blame yourself, and you start to feel terrible, even though you might not even be like remotely close to what the problem was. You start to think of everything you could have done to change it. In the end, there is nothing that I could have possibly done to change what had happened that night. And maybe had he not been drinking, and maybe the factors that added into what caused it to lead up to what had happened, maybe that would have maybe stopped it then, but he might have actually done it in the future, and maybe he had thought about it before the past, and he was gonna do it anyway. And you had to learn, I had to grow over like months upon months of thinking about this and going over this and having breakdowns and all the things that happened, and just to realize that I possibly couldn't have changed it. I maybe have been able to see the signs, and that's something that, like, I think that you need to learn, and there's facts and like research you can find and maybe see the signs, but not all people show those signs. And I don't think he would have been the person that did, but there's a possibility that you might know somebody that did, and that you might be able to see those signs, and you might be able to stop it from happening. And that's what makes me very interested in the Lost Team and suicide prevention, because there is a possibility that maybe if that person just knew that this isn't the end, and that there's something else that can be there for them. Like, even though it's so bad, there's always something that you can bring out of that, some kind of good you can bring out of it, that there's no reason for you to die, and that he had friends, and that he had family that loved him, and that we loved him, and that I loved him, and that everybody did. And if you would have just known that before the moment happened, maybe that could have stopped it. And so this charity and this live stream, it's gonna be 12 hours. I mean, there's a possibility that I might try to reach past 12 hours. We'll see what we can do. I've never live streamed like that. But it means the world to me to be able to just do suicide awareness and suicide prevention, and know that if you yourself are thinking about it, I mean, I know I've had depression in my life, I've had hardships, I had a really bad childhood up until a certain point, and I've had times where I've been so depressed and thought so many like terrible thoughts and terrible things. But to me, in my mind, I've always imagined that I have my father that loves me, and I have Will that loves me, and now I have you guys that love me, and I could never possibly think to do it. But there's some people that reach that point, and they go so deep into the darkness that they can't pull themselves out of it. And maybe we can help somebody. If it's just one person we can help, if you're just watching this and I'm showing you, like, somebody loves you, I love you, like, even you might not know that, but I do. And so you don't have to reach those depths. And so that's what this live stream is for. I just wanted to give a brief description of kind of what I've been going through for the last year. And if you've been going through these things, you want to send me an email, shoot me an email, I wouldn't mind responding. I'm letting you know kind of the things that I've done to deal with it. And I'm really happy to do this for the Lost Team for Tarrant County, because they're amazing. They're the ones that show up on the scene. They were there for whenever it happened to ours, and they'll be there with others. They start the counseling right away. They try to help you, and they help survivors. They bring you in groups together. They do counseling, and it is an amazing thing. And I really, really am excited about this charity live stream. I myself haven't completely gotten over it, and I don't think I ever will. I think it'll stay with me to my entire life, especially because of the scenes and the things that I had to see whenever it happened. And so that, I think, for me, is going to be there forever, but I have to find ways to deal with it, and I do it the best I can. I wouldn't mind helping you if you have any, or I'm sure if even, I know you're not from Tarrant County, but I don't know, the Lost Team might have some kind of, like, maybe they can help you, or they can find an area or something in your area that can help you. But that's gonna be this charity live stream. And I hope it's a good one. I'm gonna have Ginny in it possibly for a little bit. I hope you guys show up. Even if we raise $5 or we raise, you know, the whole 1,000, it's gonna be amazing. Hopefully there'll be some giveaways. I've had some people that have donated some things to give away inside the live stream, so that'll be awesome as well. If you guys want to check that out, from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. that's my time in Texas, or 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. UK time, and then you can correlate your times around that. There's gonna be a link in the description down below. This video is gonna be live all day, so I'm sure you're gonna be able to see it. Click on it, come in there, just say hello. You just showing up is gonna be awesome. That's gonna be it for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Until next time, see you guys later.